our final reactions to signing day. Now, we put out a video on Thursday when we got our commitment from
Purder.
I was thinking like Purdy,
Yeah.
Dylan Purder, Deshaun Purder, Dylan Purder. I'm getting a bit confused there. But we put out a video when Dylan Purder committed to the Gators. And we talked about that commitment, but we also mentioned a little bit about how the rest of signing day went. But I noticed, you wanted to embrace on it a little bit more. What are your thoughts on how this signing day went and how this will go? It may be, it's hard to look at it because Summerall still has games to coach, at least one more game to coach for Tulane. And there's not many kids left, but you do have signing day in February. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. We really don't have anything to suggest there is. But that's something that you don't hear until you do hear it. So what are your just overall thoughts here?
I mean, first of all, just a lot of credit for keeping this class together, and I think one of the main lines of meltdown when the Kiffin stuff came out, when it came out that Florida was not going to be hiring Lane Kiffin was, well, now you're not hiring Kiffin, so the class is about to fall apart, roster's about to portal. Well, obviously, first part of that, class didn't fall apart. Class didn't really, it took one loss, Carson Baker. Am I forgetting another one?
Baker and Kekua Amua.
Yes, sorry. Yes, of course. Baker and Kekua Amua. So, but more or less, you kept the pillars of the class in place. It's still early. We can't really judge Summerall's actual recruiting prowess. The only new addition, courtesy of Summerall, was a pretty good prospect, but one that he very clearly had a long time relationship with. Recruiting him at Tulane, he ultimately committed to LSU in Dylan Purder. But so it's hard to really say where he's at. But his first recruiting job was recruiting the players already in this class. And, granted, I'm not sure, I think, like I said earlier, I think with NIL deals and what these guys have already signed, I think you're going to see less just crazy attrition following coaching changes than we saw the last couple of years. But obviously, sometimes you will see that. Look what happened to Penn State. They got their class absolutely ravaged, signed two players on Wednesday. So, and I don't believe they've added any.
Could be worse for us.
Could it be? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant it could be worse for them. I'm like, not really. It really could.
You can sign one player.
You could sign one player. Yeah, that's true. You could sign one player. No, but yeah, I think keeping a class that is, I believe, a top 15 class right now. Am I correct?
It's 16th on 247, but 13th on On3. And 247 has us below by 2 points, FSU with 32 commits. So again, we mentioned it earlier, 17th is North Carolina with 39 commits.
Yeah.
So we talked about it earlier, a lot of inflated classes. So this is a solid, it's kind of been an average class that we've had since, the Mullen years.
Which is a good transition class. A solid normal class is a good transition class. So, I think he gets a lot of credit for that. And, there's a lot left, it's incomplete marks right now, obviously. There's a lot we still need to see, and we won't really have those answers until a year from now at least, or, maybe a little earlier. But you know what I'm saying? Until the 2027 class really gets built out. But, for now, you kept it together. And I think if you keep those guys and you keep the key pieces on the roster that we talked about in the first half of the episode, then you're looking at a pretty talented group of players in year one. Certainly a much more talented group of players than what Billy Napier fielded in 2022. I think that much is certain.
Yep. So I want to do something quickly here. We did it last year. We had a larger class. We took 27 players. We have 18 in this class. So pretty big difference, but we graded our position groups in that class. Now, these can be tougher to do because you have some players who will switch positions and, sometimes you're higher on a player who's ranked lower. So this is all a bit subjective, but I do want to go out and grade this class and the individual positions. We'll start with quarterback, Will Griffin. It's basically the same as last year with Tramel Jones, getting a kid in that early to mid 200s. Now, I think with Griffin, you're getting someone who's loyal to Florida, was committed the entire time since last summer. So you're getting someone who's going to be a Gator, who's going to be wearing that patch with pride there. Do you maybe? I don't remember what we gave Trammell. My thought at the top of my head would be a B for Trammell, maybe a B
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah. It's
So
like
my
B or B
initial
minus.
thought for Griffin is a B, maybe because he's such a Gator, like, and he exuberance that Gator energy. Maybe give him a B plus to be a bit kind. But what do you think here?
Yeah, I think B is pretty fair, especially because I probably would have maybe leaned B minus, but he ended up having, putting up some pretty big numbers as a senior. I think kind of improved his standing in my eyes a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I think that's roughly fair. That's probably about what I would have it. I think that's a, very solid, especially for like kind of an awkward position because we still might have DJ for another year. Obviously we weren't expecting a coaching change, but like the way the depth chart was supposed to work out, it's like you still got DJ for at least one more year and then maybe Trammell. So like we don't really know where he fits into the long-term future, but like just to get a guy in a class because you want to probably be signing a blue chip quarterback every class just to be doing it. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with you there, B. Running back incomplete. You don't sign a running back in this class. So we'll just move on. Receiver. So you have a top 50 recruit in Davian Gross. And then you have Justin Williams, who is ranked, where is he? 157, right out of Gainesville. And then you also bring in Marquez Daniel, who had a pretty significant fall. I didn't realize this, but he's ranked 323. He was in the mid 100s when he first committed here. But, he's your big, tall, athletic receiver there, lengthy receiver in Marquez Daniel. Did we give her? So I think we didn't. I think we did it with just Vernell Brown and Nashawn Montgomery and not Dallas Wilson. We probably gave that like an A minus. If you add Dallas, what is that? Probably an A plus, maybe even. So I don't know what we gave it last year. So if you have Gross, Williams, Daniels, I think A minus at least. Maybe if you want to be rude, B plus. But what do you think?
I was gonna say I was at like either a very, very high end B plus or like a pretty low end A minus. Because I think if we gave the class last year A minus, this probably is not quite there.
Yeah,
I guess if it was A minus without Dallas, maybe. I guess that's a little bit different. So that's probably
I'd probably say
fair.
it's the same.
Yeah, I guess if you're not counting Dallas, it's probably about the same. So maybe it is an A minus. I mean, I think the other thing that makes it to me is like I think this was a better receiver class than you even needed to have. Like, I mean, again, we don't know. Like, this class was put together by a coaching staff that wasn't expecting to get fired. I think you got to like remember. So, like, based on what they already have in that room, you didn't need to like add a super elite guys, and they got one borderline elite one and two pretty solid ones. So, I mean, I think that like that's no complaints there.
Rob, I would consider Gross a running back athlete more than a receiver. He's going to be a receiver. He played more receiver this year in high school as well. His season's not done. He just won his quarterfinal matchup where he went for 150 and a touchdown. So good for them. But no, he's kind of, I'm not comparing him to Percy Harvin, but the type of athlete, not the type, like the type of positional flexibility there where you could line up Gross in the backfield. And just like you could Percy, but he's going to be a wide receiver. We're going to count him as a wide receiver. And yes, I'm sorry. Muiz. We forgot Muiz Tonkora there as well. But no, I'll agree. I'll go A minus here because we kind of did that. I'm pretty sure the Vernell Brown and Nashawn. And again, Vernell Brown was ranked a little bit higher than what Gross was. But Justin Williams and Marquez Daniels like there. So I'll give it an A minus as well. Next, we'll move on to the offensive line. It's a pretty large offensive line class. You bring in your blue chip offensive tackle and Tyler Chuckium, ranked 239. Then you have some good, solid players there. I mean, the bottom four players of your class are linemen. That's something that we're all too familiar with, though. You bring in Chancellor Campbell, a top 500 guy, 6'8". That developmental piece there, that massive player you take and try to develop him into that next first-round pick. Janari Carr, just the local kid, guard. I think he's going to be a good player for us. Just those guards that aren't going to get a lot of the appreciation, but they're going to be maulers. Same with Desmond Green. Both kind of country They're going to be some maulers for us, I believe. And you kind of take Javari Lucas as a, he's a the cousin, I think his cousin or nephew of the Taylor, Kelvin Taylor, Fred Taylor, of course. He's a solid player. I've heard some solid things. Like I don't expect much out of players in that ranking, but you take them. So I think this is like a B minus.
Yeah,
because you get your 1 4-star in Chuckium, and then you get a couple developmental. I mean, Campbell, like for someone ranked 495, he was looking seriously like Miami, Ohio State. I think A&M is another one. Like he had some serious offers because he's that type of player with that high of a ceiling that could turn out and be that first round, pick offensive tackle there. So maybe B minus is a bit high, but I maybe it's a personal bias. I like some of the guys there. Plus, you have Chuckium, so I'll go B minus, but maybe it should be a C plus instead.
Yeah, my initial gut was C plus, and then I was like, maybe it's a B minus, just because maybe the volume puts it over the top because you still landed 5 guys. But yeah, I mean it's the same problem. Like Florida's offensive line recruiting just hasn't been where it needs to be. They've had pretty good development in spite of that, but that doesn't mean that you're recruiting at an ideal level. Yeah, I mean, I'll go C plus here. My gut was to give it the boost, but like it's hard to give it the boost for volume when it's basically like 4 guys who are like
what if we throw in Hezzy Kent? What if you throw Hezzy Kent in there as offensive lineman?
Is he? I mean, first of all, Hezzy Kent's the best playmaking offensive skill position player in the country. So I don't know how much offensive line he's going to be playing.
He's a tight end, but we'll throw him. He's a player,
I don't know if it's going to work, but man, I'm so excited to see how they try to make it work because he's fun. That's all I know.
I know he was a Russ Callaway guy, so like he would have played tight end with Russ Callaway here, and he signed with us, so he's gotten some affirmation that they'll let him try out at tight end at a minimum here. But I mean, maybe he'll just lose the weight and become a decent size. I mean, do you see Darnell Washington say he's like 320 pounds?
Yeah. Use him like Bama used what's his name? The offensive tackle. You know what I'm talking about? They like threw him like a screen pass and just let him like bowl over
Caden
people.
Proctor?
Yeah, Caden Proctor.
I mean, Caden Proctor is going to be a first-round draft pick at offensive tackle. I think there's a little difference there.
No, I'm saying use him on offense, like use him in the passing game, like that. Like use him for just like weird trick plays and stuff like that. I want to see it.
Yeah. Okay. So if we'd say tight end with Chuckium, B minus, kind of. I mean, it's basically the same rank as Will Griffin is, but the tight end room's a lot worse. Probably need more. We're gonna need some more attribution through the portal, to fix that tight end room, and I don't even know if one portal class can fix that. But based on ranking, I don't even know if I want to go B minus. What are you thinking there with Hezzy Kent at tight end?
I just don't know what to make of it. Like,
yeah.
What is it even going to be? Like, I mean, he's fun. Like, I'm glad they got him in the class because I just want to see what happens there. But like, I think it's got to be like a C plus because it's the only one, and he's decently rated. But it's like, are we even going to use him how he was evaluated as a high school player? I don't know.
It's like Tony Livingston was coming out of high school, where he was a 4-star near the same ranking, but it's like, is he a tackle? Is he a tight end? Or is he a guard? He was like 6'4". So I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing tight end or tackle at the next level. So we'll see. We'll say incomplete because we don't really know what to put there. All right, next position we'll go to the edge room. We'll do the D line.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not enough to separate it out.
No. So we're going to do the 3D lineman / edge with KJ Ford, Jarayla McCoy, and Kenzel Gervil. I think we wanted a couple more names in this room. And I think the ones you have are pretty good. I know Gervil fell because he suffered a pretty bad ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a bit unfortunate to see there. But I still think he's gonna be a good player. Like he was a highly targeted guy for Florida, Texas, Miami, Georgia. Like I don't know if that ACL injury is gonna be something that does affect him for the long term, but if I'm evaluating like how I was before the season, I thought he was a really great take for us. Jalen McCoy, just a big time playmaker, that big upside type of player. You know, it's going to be someone you have to develop, but the upside's there. And KJ4 is just a different type of player. He should be an elite pass rusher. Like, not many Duncanville players go to Florida, and you're getting one off the edge with his speed. Like, I like the class. It doesn't have that big name, but
Yeah.
I think I wanted more numbers. I wanted another defensive tackle, probably wanted another edge. So that's probably the thing that's going to take it down to like a B.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go
You're
B.
at a B. You're at a B.
Yeah.
I might be B plus here. I might be B plus here, but I generally agree with what you're saying. I think getting 3 blue chip guys is cool, and they're all like relatively highly rated blue chips, but none of them are in the top. I mean, KJ Ford on the composite is 143 in the nation. So none of these guys are like super, super high end. B plus might even be a little too much on my part, but like, I think all of them were pretty heavily pursued guys.
You are the positive one.
I know. Yeah. For once, I'm the super positive guy. But yeah, I mean, I think these guys were all pretty heavily pursued. You kept them in the class. I think I'm giving a little bit of bonus points too for keeping KJ Ford, because I'm sure there were pushes to get him.
Yeah, A&M was projected to flip him the day before signing day.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a big win for the staff. So like, I'll go B plus because you retained them all, even though I agree I would like to see one more, or at least one of these guys be more like a top 100 player. But yeah.
Yeah. Cody, awesome. We were able to keep Ford. I was worried. Yeah. Ford plus Woods will be nasty. I mean, yeah, I think that could be a really dynamic duo there on the edge in like 2 years. Hopefully. A linebacker is just one player, Malik Morris. Oh my God. No, 247 even has him now listed as a D lineman. Jesus. I know why. He gained a lot of weight, but I see him as a more traditional linebacker, like a Ventrell Miller, like a David.
Yeah, they have him at defensive line at 6'1", 225.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we've recruited linebacker pretty well, so it wasn't the biggest need. So I understand it. Like I expect him to be more of an interior, like true linebacker, like as I mentioned, Ventrell, Jared Davis, and David Reese. But yeah, he's not 225. No, he's closer to 250 than he is to 225, maybe even 260.
Okay.
That injury played
so he's gained a lot since his 247 evaluation or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you don't remember, but during this, he had an injury before last season, before he committed to us even, and he put on some weight. Like he was a big boy, and I don't think he's lost a lot of it, but that is why they're probably maybe saying D line here. But yeah, on 3 has him at 260. I bet on 3 is a lot closer than 247 is.
Yeah,
but I think he's someone who's a pretty solid player. Could just, again, as I said, be that type of linebacker. It's hard to grade it because it's just one player, but we've recruited linebacker well. There's some good linebackers in the next class that could also be C plus, B minus. It's not much of a need. It's not that great. Like I'll go C plus because Morris might not be able to play. So it's like you have that risk. So I'll go in the lower end and say C plus.
Yeah, I'm actually going C here. Like I just feel like I can't give it any higher than that when it's like we don't even know what this guy's true position is going to look like, and he's the only one that you signed. And it's honestly, like we talked about earlier, it might be a position where you're fine. It might also be a position where you lose a couple guys to the portal, and you might need some of these young guys to step up. Now, granted, like have some of them on the roster already, like Ty Jackson. So maybe it doesn't matter that much that you didn't get him in this class. I would have liked another, and certainly like a more, I guess, not a flex kind of prospect, like a guy who's more of a, a true, like a Miles Graham style linebacker. And I'm not sure we've got that here.
That's fair. All right. Next, we'll do corners. Do we do corners or safeties? We just do DB room in general.
Yeah, let's
what
just
do
do
you think?
DBs. Let's just do DBs,
All right,
especially
so
because half the time safeties play nickel and corners play safety, and
All right, yeah. So we bring in 4 DBs, all 4 stars. CJ Brona, the gem there, you kept him ranked 110, almost slipped to Ohio State, but we were able to keep him. You also were able to flip at the last minute. Dylan Purder, ranked 207, committed to Texas or LSU. True safety. I think he's gonna play safety here. I'm pretty sure. Maybe could play nickel. You bring in Caden Hall, ranked 246. Barely that 247 there. More of that box safety type of style there. And then you also bring in CJ Hester, who can play both corner, safety. Again, that's why we're combining the two, because anyone can clearly play anywhere at this point. But it's all 4-star guys, including some highly touted, like highly pushed for guys. Brona, Ohio State, Purder was LSU, Bama was going for Caden Hall, Iowa for CJ Hester. No, but Auburn for CJ Hester. But it's a good room, solid. You don't get any elite guys. I know Brona pushed into the top 100. If he's able to push up a little bit more, in the next
not in the
composite,
by the way, not in the composite.
He's 110 in the composite.
I thought you said he pushed into the top 100.
He did, and he fell out.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay, my bad.
But maybe he's able to push it. You can get one of these guys top 75, like Bronow specifically. Maybe that's another bump, but I think that's a B.
Mm-hmm.
No elite guys, but you're getting a couple good ones. Hester, the lowest ranked guy, but he's a Gator through and through. He was the one that's oh yeah, we're gonna sign him. He's gonna be a Gator.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm at B+ here, because in a small class, you actually signed a fairly deep DB class, especially for having already signed a pretty deep DB class the prior year. Doing it again, in a small class, I think grading on a sliding scale here a little bit, because I think just on its face, yeah, B is probably a little more fair, but I think again, it's for what this is, I think this is a pretty solid DB haul. Obviously would like to see Bronow be at least in the top 100, but is what it is.
Is what it is. Yeah, but it's a solid class overall. B.
Yeah, that's probably what I give. I think maybe B, B+ if you want to be
on a curve.
Yeah, if you're hey, this is a transition class. Guy showed up 2 days before signing day. Yeah.
Yeah, so on a curve, I'll give it a B+, but overall, it's a B, maybe.